Well, he is someone who joins us on Fridays, talks all things streaming, entertainment. He writes in the Marina Times, the Coastal Commuter column. And you can find him at the Royal Grounds there on Polk Street regularly. He comes in on a wave of magic and sunshine, and he's, Michael Snyder. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Mark. Hello, everybody. And I want to tell you, I don't know about the Biden White House, but I judge people on the quality of their weed.
Hey, you didn't know that. Come on. Well,
I know. Hey, listen, forgive me. I'm still adjusting to the return of daylight savings time. Yeah, but I think we should call it by what it really is, which is nightlight losing time. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm a night crawler. I'm a night creature. I can't stand getting all this extra daylight.
I don't like the change. Give me one or the other. But the change is bad on you physically. It's bad on you psychologically. And it's a holdover from, as usual, something from, decades and decades ago, and we should change it. So,
agreed.
I saw a documentary that I really liked, and I saw it on Netflix. And I thought of you. It's about the Varsity Blues scandal. And what they did was they took it's called Operation Varsity Blues. They took the transcript of conversations. As you know, there were phone taps associated with the Varsity Blues investigation. They got those transcripts, and they got that actual audio. And then the actual audio and transcripts from Rick Singer, who wore a wire as he was beginning to cooperate with authorities and reviewing all of the fraud that he perpetrated to get people into USC, into Stanford, into other universities across the country, but really the Ivies in the East. So what you see and what you're reminded of, I should say, by this whole thing is that you see how parents of privilege, kids who are kids of privilege, but parents in that same world are trying in a way to do the best for their kid. I thought it was a very well done doc in that I already resented the kind of privilege that these are uber rich people, okay? They're told to serve up a check for $500,000 or $1 million. It's not a big deal to them. But you see how they're just trying to get their kid on track or ahead. And they're also trying to shield their kid from this. So in other words, they're trying not to let their kid know, in many instances, what's going on. So it was a great review for that with the actual, as I say, words spoken by people involved in the entire thing. And then recreations with Matthew Modine playing this guy, Rick Singer. I really recommend it. I thought it was really interesting. So that's my way of kicking us off.
So you thought of me because of how I snuck into grad school?
Exactly. Thank you.
So
when I look at academic fraud, I think of you. That was really where I was coming from.
Great. I'm at ease now. This is a big week in the movie industry because the Oscar nominations were dropped. I assume you checked some of that stuff out, right?
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Well, I believe that all competitions, awards competitions in the arts are bunk and self-congratulatory popularity contests. But that said, one thing that the Best Picture selection does is provide a roadmap for people to see some really terrific films, because even though, you can't always rely on the Academy to choose the best of the best, this year they really nailed it. All the movies that they selected are films that I thought were absolutely worth people's time. I'll just run past them, and a lot of them are now available on streaming, so yeehaw for that. The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. And if you listen to the Mark Thompson show on Friday mornings, you've heard me sing the praises of every one of these films. So from that standpoint, I'm like thoroughly delighted. And when I see someone like Steven Yeun, who is one of the stars of Minari, get an actual Best Actor nomination, a guy who most people just know from The Walking Dead, where he played the hapless Glenn. I'm thrilled about that.
Yeah, I agree with everything you've just said. I mean, not that it's important that I agree, but I just feel compelled to say that I do agree. Like, these are really significant movies. When I say significant movies, I'm not always looking for a message movie or whatever. I'm just saying they're great watches, and you really learn something about these characters. I mean, I'll tell you, the trial of the Chicago 7, for example, I thought I knew that story, but the story of those characters and that judge and what they faced, amazing. And the Minari, or however you say it, that was a brilliant, subtle, special movie. And the Judas and the Black Messiah, I absolutely adored that film. And The Father I have yet to see. But Nomadland, so real. They used real people, as you had chronicled here on this show in our last conversation about Nomadland. Those were actual people who live in vans across the country that they used in that movie. That's the style of that director. And Sound of Metal, wow. That's the one I'm getting Albert to watch because he's a drummer. But I think he only got through part of the movie. I think, who knows if Albert wants to watch some K-pop video instead of, he's got his phone out. He's a millennial. But I did recommend it. I think he's watched part of it.
The thing about Minari is it's about the Asian experience in America. Is there anything more relevant this week than for people to understand the struggle, the tribulation, and the determination of trying to make a go of it here when you're from another country, another ethnicity, and particularly when we're confronted with the sort of news that we've dealt with this week.
That's a brilliant point. And I would say one other thing on that point. When you watch this Korean family, it's a Korean family, they're trying to integrate themselves into a new life in the Midwest. They're trying to do just that, assimilate. You see them go to church. You see them go to schools and try to be part of things, be part of the community. They're not trying to assert themselves as different per se, which makes and I'm not saying that was the right way to go or the wrong way to go. I'm saying this is a true story. This is actually what happened with a family. Yeah. But I'm suggesting that it's this sort of assimilative process that they pursue. I mean, you see how heartbreaking it is, and but also how triumphant it is.
True. And speaking of the Asian experience and movies, how great to see two Asian ethnic directors get director nominations for their movies. Lee Isaac Chung for Minari and Chloe Zhou for Nomadland. That's a real jump forward. America, get used to it, people.
Yeah. I mean, it's an asset. It's said so often, but it really is an asset that we have all of these magnificent ethnicities washing together. I mean, ideally anyway. So, well, you like it then. I agree with you on, these award shows being ridiculous. You can't compare art, You'd have to have the same movie directed by different people to know Best Director, right?
Right.
You'd have to
That's
know.
fair.
I mean,
on the other hand, how proud am I that I sung the praises of another round last week, the Danish film with Mads Mikkelsen. It got nominated for Best Foreign Language and Thomas Vinterberg for Best Director.
Oh, that's really great. You know what I watched a little bit of last night that I will recommend? You recommended the Michael Winterbottom directed The Trip to Spain. And I watched a bit of that last night, and that was entertaining. But you have to be into that kind of thing. It's kind of funny. They go through Spain with comedy and with dialogue that is so special to those two guys, Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan.
I love that stuff. By the way, while we're on the subject of movies, and there aren't any big blockbusters coming out this week in terms of feature films, with one weird exception I'll get to. But I wanted to point out that this weekend is the 2021 Cinequest Film Festival based in San Jose. And because there's no in-person attendance, it's all online, and you can connect with these wonderful movies. Some of them are indie, some of them are it's a whole mix of quality stuff that's been curated between Saturday, March 20th and Tuesday, March 30th, going to cinequest.org, quest.org. And I'm particularly thrilled because my dear friend, Dory Barton, actress, writer, director, has her second feature film as a writer, director. Welcome to the show in the festival. And it's really a charming movie, kind of sweet and funny, about four friends who are almost out of college, and they find themselves caught up in a piece of immersive theater called The Show. And it's really, the unexpected happens. It's, again, charming. It's a lovely movie about friendship and about, knowing yourself and knowing your place in the world. Welcome to the show. But welcome.
And that's at Cinequest.org. They're doing it virtually this year, but that should be great, right?
Yeah, I think that's really thrilling.
San Jose Film Festival. Yeah, go ahead. We only have 30 seconds left, Michael. I'm so sorry, but I have to press you a little bit here.
No, that's fine. I wanted to say my current column in the Marina Times is called Portals to Adventure in Time and Space, and it's mostly about all the sci-fi and fantasy stuff on television. And I wanted to point out that Zack Snyder's version of Justice League, which was very controversial in terms of being made, is on HBO Max as of today, 4 hours plus beyond the version that Joss Whedon did of the movie a few years back. And I understand it plods a bit at 4 hours, but The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus is the latest from Marvel's cinematic universe with Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan and a few other recognizable figures. 6 episodes of superheroics, socio-political intrigue, and witty buddy picture banter. And I watched episode 1 and thoroughly loved it. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus.
Wow, great stuff. Well, again, a reminder, San Jose's Cinequest Film Festival starting this weekend, and the big superhero stuff debuting on Disney Plus and HBO Max. And, this is a nice little overview. Michael Snyder, we adore you. Find Michael in the Marina Times and occasionally on Polk Street there at that Royal Grounds. Michael, have a great weekend. And thank you, Michael.
Bye-bye.